Charles Robert Darwin was born on February 12, 1809, in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England, at his family's home, the Mount. He was the fifth of 6 children born to Robert Darwin, a wealthy physician and financier, and Susanna Darwin, née Wedgwood, whose father, Josiah Wedgwood, was a prominent industrialist and abolitionist. His paternal grandfather, Erasmus Darwin, was a physician and poet who had speculated on evolutionary ideas in his writings. The family had strong Unitarian roots, though Darwin was baptized in the Anglican Church shortly after birth. From a young age, Darwin showed a keen interest in natural history, collecting specimens like birds' eggs and minerals. His mother died when he was 8, an event that deeply affected him. Darwin attended the local Anglican Shrewsbury School as a boarder starting in 1818, where his passion for collecting beetles and studying nature grew despite a lackluster academic performance. In 1825, at his father's urging, he began studying medicine at the University of Edinburgh alongside his brother Erasmus. However, he found the lectures dull and surgical demonstrations gruesome, leading him to skip classes. Instead, he immersed himself in natural history, learning taxidermy from a freed enslaved man named John Edmonstone, joining the Plinian Society for debates on radical scientific ideas and assisting in dissections of marine invertebrates. Influenced by figures like Robert Edmund Grant, he encountered early evolutionary concepts from Jean-Baptiste Lamarck and his own grandfather Erasmus. Disappointed by his son's disinterest, Robert Darwin redirected him in 1828 to Christ's College, Cambridge, to pursue a Bachelor of Arts degree as preparation for a career in the clergy. There, Darwin initially struggled but found mentors in botany professor John Stevens Henslow and geologist Adam Sedgwick. He avidly collected beetles, his finds even appeared in scientific publications, and devoured works like William Paley's Evidences of Christianity and Natural Theology, which argued for divine design in nature. By 1831, he graduated 10th in his class, having developed a burning zeal for natural philosophy inspired by Alexander von Humboldt's travel narratives and John Herschel's emphasis on inductive reasoning. The voyage of the HMS Beagle. Rather than entering the clergy, Darwin's life pivoted dramatically when Henslow recommended him as a naturalist for the HMS Beagle, a Royal Navy survey ship charting South American coasts. Initially reluctant, his father relented after persuasion from Uncle Josiah Wedgwood II, and Darwin joined Captain Robert Fitzroy on December 27, 1831, for what was planned as a 2-year voyage but extended to nearly 5 years, 1831 to 1836. The journey was transformative. Darwin spent most of his time ashore, battling chronic seasickness, but meticulously documenting geology, fossils, and wildlife. Key stops included Cape Verde, Brazil, where he abhorred slavery, Patagonia, uncovering massive fossilized mammals like Megatherium, suggesting recent extinctions without catastrophe, Chile, witnessing an earthquake that supported Charles Lyell's uniformitarian geology, the Galapagos Islands, noting island-specific variations in mockingbirds, tortoises, and finches. Australia, marveling at marsupials like the platypus, and Cape Town, South Africa, meeting Herschel. Influenced by Lyell's principles of geology, Darwin theorized about gradual land uplift, coral atoll formation, and species distribution, planting seeds of doubt about fixed species and divine creation. He collected thousands of specimens, sent journals home, and grappled with human diversity among the Fuegians, concluding all peoples shared a common origin despite cultural differences. Returned to England, and development of evolutionary theory, the Beagle returned to England on October 2, 1836, catapulting Darwin into scientific circles. Fated in London, he collaborated with experts like Richard Owen on fossils, revealing links between extinct giants and modern South American species, and John Gould on birds, confirming the Galapagos finches as distinct species. Elected to the Geological Society's Council in 1837, Darwin presented papers on South American uplift and species continuity. Settling in London with brother Erasmus amid Whig intellectuals, Darwin refined his ideas, reading Thomas Malthus's essay on population in 1838, which inspired the mechanism of natural selection. Variations in populations lead to differential survival and inheritance of advantageous traits. He delayed publication, fearing controversy, and worked on geology texts like The Structure and Distribution of Coral Reefs, 1842. In 1842, Darwin moved his growing family to Down House in Kent for seclusion, where he conducted home experiments on barnacles, an exhaustive 8-year study published 1851 to 1854, and pigeons. A letter from Alfred Russel Wallace in 1858, outlining similar natural selection ideas, spurred action. Their theories were jointly presented at the Linnean Society on July 1, 1858. Major publications and legacy: Darwin's seminal work on the origin of species by means of natural selection was published on November 24, 1859, selling out instantly. It argued for descent, with modification from common ancestors through natural selection, supported by evidence from artificial selection, embryology, and biogeography, challenging creationism while avoiding human evolution explicitly. The book ignited debate, but garnered support from figures like Thomas Huxley, Darwin's bulldog. Subsequent works expanded his ideas. The Fertilization of Orchids, 1862, on co-adaptation. The Variation of Animals and Plants under Domestication, 1868, on inheritance. The Descent of Man and Selection in Relation to Sex, 1871, applying evolution to humans and sexual selection, and the Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, 1872, on instinct and behavior. Honored with the Royal Society's Copley Medal, 1864, Darwin became a global scientific icon. Personal life and later years. On January 29, 1839, Darwin married his first cousin, Emma Wedgwood, in a quiet ceremony. She provided emotional stability amid his growing health woes, chronic fatigue, vomiting, and anxiety, possibly from Chagas disease contracted in South America. They had 10 children, 7 surviving to adulthood, including sons who became scientists. Tragedies struck, like the death of beloved daughter Anne at age 10 in 1851. Darwin's faith evolved from Orthodox Christianity to agnosticism, though Emma remained devout. He was buried in Westminster Abbey as a respected Anglican. In his final years at Down House, Darwin studied earthworms, insectivorous plants, 1875, and climbing vines, publishing The Formation of Vegetable Mold, 1881. He died on April 19, 1882, at age 73 from heart failure, leaving a legacy that revolutionized biology, emphasizing evidence-based inquiry over dogma. His work continues to underpin modern evolutionary science.